Hi, this is Eternal King bringing you another LOR video today. So moving away from the deck tutorials for a little bit because people I think are getting frustrated with me showing optimal play patterns and kind of peak deck performance, going to discussion, talking about kind of the different ways to enjoy LOR outside of the most competitive and optimal play space. So some decks that I like to play that aren't that amazing. I like to play Eddie Ramp. So Eddie Ramp is basically Freljord Allegiance with a splash when run like this. And, it's very suboptimal. You have Avalanches, you have Bladed Ravines, you have Frostbites. For the most part, it's just like a mono ramp list. And the whole thing is exceptionally suboptimal. But, the reason why it's important to play meme decks and, essentially throw games. I also have Transform here with Sejuani that I quite enjoy, for basically Curious Changeling into Teeny Dactyl. I have 40% win rate deep here that I enjoy to play sometimes. These are basically what I call my toilet decks, right? Decks that I enjoy playing on the John when I feel like people are getting frustrated with losing too much to me. It's exceptionally important to show people that even gods can bleed, that it is possible to lose games, even if it means playing the worst decks with the most suboptimal play patterns and essentially not even paying attention and playing on your phone. It is important to show people that you can lose with these decks. Because if every single video that you put out is just like, here's how you play Shadow Burn, here's how you play Azir Aurelia, here's how you play Meta Jace Lux, here's how you play Elusive Spam, here's how you play Meta Draven Rumble, I can basically show you Meta Ziggs Poppy. I could just show you how to essentially win non-stop in Eternal using optimal decks, play patterns, and strategies. It's not hard to do if you've been playing the game as long as I have. And for a while it seemed like there was some interest there with people learning how to do the same. But then it amounted to a lot of frustration because you had a lot of good players attempting to challenge me when I was kind of at my peak play pattern, playing optimally, playing the best decks. And then they would get frustrated because they just weren't even in the same universe as me. And so it led to a lot of auto concedes, led to a lot of hurt feelings, things like that. So again, it is important to, as a streamer or just as a personality in LOR, to play things that are suboptimal sometimes. It's almost like a release valve. It takes away some of the pressure, not to perform, because again, performing in Eternal consistently is easy if you simply follow my tutorial series. You won't have any problem doing it. You simply play the best decks optimally, know what your opponent's playing, and then just instantly win every single matchup, because your decks are better on tempo, your decks are better at aggro, your decks are responsive, non-fragile. Meanwhile, the opponent is open attack spamming with suboptimal lists in the standard manner that is always going to lead to their defeat. There's just no way around it. If you're playing a deck and your idea of a deck is okay, I'm going to play, I'll give you an idea. Let's say I'm playing Master Yi, and my entire deck is just Omen Hawk, Snow Dog, Master Yi, and then Burst to protect Yi. And, Yi doesn't even flip in that game. Over the course of that game, Yi doesn't even flip because you're not actually running any synergy points for Yi. You're simply running standard aggressive tempo with a suboptimal shell. In fact, the better thing to do if you're running Master Yi and you're actually serious about it and you're trying to play optimally is Yi Cataclysm. So typically Yi with strikes is the optimal way to play Yi. And the reason for that is because Yi will actually level and do his thing. Otherwise, Yi just kind of sits there and he's just kind of a nuisance, and any optimal list will just blow past him. So typically it's Yi with strikes, more specifically Yi with Cataclysm, which is going to allow him to turbo level. But again, it's one of those things where it's I don't want to overemphasize the importance of optimal play. I basically narrowed down, what LOR is in the Eternal format to three things, which is optimal lines, engines, and then, kind of synergies as well, if you want to throw that in there. and win cons, you know, stuff like that. That's the kind of thing that does well in Eternal. Anything beyond that is just kind of bad. So open attack spam would just say Snow Dog, right? Like your deck just makes no sense except you know Snow Dog is a good card. And it's like, yeah, Snow Dog is a good card. And you could probably jam 3 copies into any deck and have it be like not bad. But it's also, for, you know, the Eternal power scale, it's going to be suboptimal. Just in general, it's going to be suboptimal. So just like Snow Dog, and that's it. You generally need to have a little more going for you. You know, a good deck for Snow Dog is something like Jax. Jax loves Snow Dog because when Jax is big, he levels faster. And also you have challenge, you have, you know, basically cycle challenges, you have one-sided strikes, you have all these ways to cash out on Jax, and those are that's called synergy, right? So, you know, Jax being a meta deck, it's already pre-built for you, but just kind of understanding that just like aggressive standard tempo into, you know, a card pile isn't enough for the Eternal format. There needs to be cash outs and synergy points and win cons and things of that nature. Another deck I like to play that's a toilet deck is Thralls. So, you know, I love to run Thralls now and then. It's not a meta deck or an optimal deck in any way, but again, it is that release valve of, like, if people are getting too frustrated with me because, like, let's say I've won 10 games in a row because I'm creating a tutorial series on how to play optimally, that's going to frustrate a lot of pro players when they realize that some no-name Canadian is basically just taking them to the cleaners and they just don't, they might as well not even show up, basically. It doesn't matter if they're playing a meta deck or a non-meta deck, or if they're memeing with something I might not know about, an unknown list. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to 2 factors. One factor, am I playing an optimal list optimally? Factor number 2, am I playing a toilet deck suboptimally because I'm literally sitting on the toilet with my phone? And you know, whether this one, you know, this version is the version that people enjoy playing against with me because it's fun for them, because they don't feel like they're just getting blown out of the water and there's nothing they can do. This version, which is like if I ever wanted to be a tournament player, if I ever wanted to be, you know, the height of competition, if I ever wanted to be the #1 player, if that was something that I valued in life, I would play this, and it's just like, okay, I'm just taking 10 back-to-back games with a mixture of, say, 5 top meta decks that I rotate through. You know, it could be Elusive Spam, it could be Burn, it could be Ziggs Poppy, and then a number of other top meta decks, and then I just rotate through them, and like that's it. That's the climbing experience, and there'd be basically nothing they could do about it. But, you know, there's just a fun little discussion video. You know, even gods can bleed. We all play suboptimal decks sometimes for the fun of it, and sometimes we make suboptimal plays for the fun of it to give the opponent the free win. But at the end of the day, I basically have 2 modes. I have neutral and I have drive. And when I'm in drive mode, people get really frustrated. This is, you know, again, very similar to Swim. Swim used to meme pretty hard with, you know, bingo cards and like, you know, I'm not even trying, but I have to make this work kind of thing. And then there's like, okay, basically nobody can even compete. And I'm very similar to Swim in that regard, where it's just two modes, neutral and drive. In neutral, I'm just going to like give free wins off of memes so the other opponent can have a fun time. And then in drive, it's just nothing but straight wins and usually dislikes on videos. Alright, this is Eternal King signing out.